Hey. Hey, girls. Hey, everybody. It's been a second, hasn't it? I do this all the time, but this time, this vanishing without a trace feels especially egregious because now I don't even have the defense of being in graduate school anymore. I mean, I haven't for a while, but now I've actually, officially on the books graduated. Like, I have a paper degree. So I can't even lie about it anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for leaving again like I always do. I'm always kind of torn about how sincere to be in my videos. I have a personality where I very much want to turn every single thing I say into a bit. Make them laugh, etc. Always, every time I say anything. But I think sometimes it does pay to be sincere. Ow. I'm going through kind of a rough time. It's fine, but it's, it could be better. So, I decided to do something easy and fun, and I'm gonna window shop Shein again, and if you don't want to watch that, good thing you're on YouTube. If you want to watch something else by me, I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. Write a fan fiction. I'm not going to dwell on my own emotions too much because that's not the point of either this video or my channel. But I have this joke with myself that anytime I enter a period of my life where I am enjoying how my hair looks, I say a period of my life, it usually doesn't last longer than 8 days, my skin will start to look bad. I'll start to break out, or I'll have what I consider breakouts. I always like to qualify it whenever I'm complaining about my skin because I have naturally very clear, luminous, beautiful skin, courtesy of my dad, who had clear, beautiful, luminous skin for his entire life. So people ask me about skincare, and I'm like, I'm one of God's chosen favorites. I'm so sorry. My version of my skin not looking that good will happen, and it's always when my hair looks great. And I say all this because, recently, and this is bananas, this never happens. Recently, I've been liking my body more. My self-image with regards to my body is not amazing. I think I have a very beautiful face and a sparkling personality, and I think I need those things to offset my body. As of late, I haven't been that mean to myself about my body, which means I have been mean to myself about everything else in my life. My clothes and apartment and my job and my future and my skills. And it's really not even my fault. Honestly, the real problem is that I'm almost 30. I'm about to turn 30. I always thought that it was a little cringe, a little reductive, a little basic to really panic about entering your 30s and leaving your 20s. And it's I didn't even have fun in my 20s, Why should I be sad to see them go? I had a miserable time, basically, from the minute I graduated college. Basically, I'm almost 30, and I feel a way about it. And it's not like I need to, My mother, God bless her, has been telling me how wonderful her 30s were for my whole adolescence and early adulthood. She has never minced words with me about how much more she enjoyed her 30s than her 20s. Recently, I asked her if the same could be said for her 40s, and she replied enthusiastically yes. I don't really have anything to worry about. I think I'm mostly nervous because I just feel like I don't have enough skills to be in my 30s. I can't drive. I'm really bad at math still. I don't know how to code. I don't even know any programming languages, and I don't work in computer science, but I kind of feel like everybody on planet Earth learned how to code when I was asleep, and now everyone else knows it but me. I don't know how to graphic design. All I have is my sparkling personality. Do you understand how stressful that is? Oh, I have to be so charismatic and funny all the time. This is what a birthday clown wears on a date if she wants to get lucky. Oh God, that's a whole other thing. I have to get married, you guys. I have to get married because if I don't get married soon, I'm just gonna grow crazier and crazier with every passing day. I need somebody in my apartment being like, please stop talking about yourself and fold the laundry. I need to externalize my brain to somebody else, someone normal and put together. I need to be the Dharma to somebody's Greg. I want to stop talking about myself. I'm so tired of talking about myself and thinking about myself. Jesus Christ. Slayer? This dress is for killing vampires. Elegant and sexy. Thank God. I can't tell you guys how many times I've been tearing apart my closet, desperately trying to find something that's elegant and sexy. But I always go too far in one direction. Like sometimes I'll put on a nun's habit and I'm like, well, this is elegant, but it's not sexy. And other times I'm just standing naked in front of my full-length mirror with my eyes kind of half shut, with my hands covering my face like I'm watching a horror movie, which is what I have to do when I see myself naked in a mirror. And I'm like, well, this is sexy, but it's not elegant. Finally, I've found a middle ground. I don't even have anything that mean to say about this dress other than I think the ruffles are ugly. They kind of make it look like it's growing fungus. Like it's one of those time-lapse videos of food rotting. Like this is right before it gets kind of scary. Right before it starts growing mold and attracting flies and fly larvae, it gets kind of like rigid looking as the water present in it evaporates out over the course of like a day and a half. And it darkens in color a little bit. And it looks like if you pressed your finger into it, it would kind of feel a little bit like semi-hardened candle wax. That's what the texture of this dress reminds me of. It's like if you took the pink sauce and you just left it on a plate for 2 full days. You would get the same texture as this dress. Isn't science amazing? I wish I had been smart enough to go to medical school. I think that's one of the big regrets of my life. Like, what if there's an alternate universe version of me that's really good at math and science? I'd be so scared to ever meet her. Because in this universe, current me, I've always been the type of kid, I was a reading and writing and history, social studies type child. That's what I excelled at always. I was a voracious reader. I wrote for fun all the time. I had boxes and boxes of stories that I would write that I would torment my family by forcing them to listen to. I loved that stuff. And math always made me cry. And it sucks because it's just like if you're not taught math at the very dawn of your schooling, it like ruins your relationship with it for the rest of your life. It's crazy how important teaching math to children in a way that makes them feel like they understand it is. And I was the child left behind, girl. I was not with everybody else. I've joked in the past about if I ever met an alternate universe version of myself or a clone of myself, I would, to parlay a phrase from Generation Alpha, try to riz them up. I would try to hook up with my clone. Of course I would. Of course I would. You know why? Because I know what I want. And I know what I need. And I know the ways in which I need to be validated physically. And no one else does because I won't let them find out. That's all to say. If I met alternate universe good at math and science Nisa, I would be too afraid of her to try to riz her up. Actually, to be honest, I'd probably try to kill her. I would probably try to kill her. Guys, is this dress ugly? I think it's kind of like kitschy in a fun way. This whole ensemble looks like something you would wear if you were somebody's +1 to prom, but they went to a school for supervillains. Is this attached to this is attached to the shirt, right? It's allegedly just because something is long doesn't mean it's a dress. Oh, this is a Slayer item as well. This is also for killing vampires. What a lucky break. We have options. On what planet is this a dress, girl? It doesn't even close in the front. It's a little cape. It's a tunic. It's not a dress if there's no way to wear it where your puss isn't out on display. If you have to wear a pair of pleather shorts underneath it, it's not a dress, girl. Can you imagine if you were wearing this and you didn't realize that you had a little hangnail? You would tear this in two. I think it would actually disintegrate. I think one tear in this, it would evaporate into a puff of, I don't know, spores. Have you ever noticed that you never have any problems with a little broken nail or a chip in your nail, except for when you're about to put on tights. I swear to God, I'll wake up, get ready for the day with no issues with my nails. They don't snag on anything. They're completely fine. I freshly filed them like 2 days before. They're gorgeous. And as soon as I reach into the HBO Max PR package box that I keep all of my pairs of tights in, as soon as I take one of those son bitches out of there, my nails are like, oh no, I've got a raw edge. I hope no pairs of $16 snag tights are about to be pulled up a leg, requiring my help to wedge them up into the inner thigh so they don't slip down over the course of the day. I really do keep all my tights in an HBO Max box. Do you want to see it? I did a brand deal for HBO last March on TikTok, and I keep all my tights in here. This is a sweatshirt, if you can't tell by looking at it, that features the phrase, "There it goes, my last flying fuck." And there's a skeleton who's releasing a bat into the night sky, and I guess the bat is the skeleton's flying fuck. Putting aside the, inherent cringe of this phrase, the art of this sweatshirt does make me go on like a little bit of a fun journey in my brain that I'd love to take you all on. So as I said, a skeleton is releasing a bat, and the skeleton is saying, "There it goes. My last fuck is flying away." Fucks are concerns, right? Feelings, often negative feelings, things that we don't want to deal with, give or take. Sometimes it's just our ability to care about things. And it's represented here by a bat. Are bats manifestations, physical manifestations of our desires and fears and concerns? But not all of our desires and fears and concerns. What's that? Is that what living people look like? No, that's what dead people look like. Bats are the final, fleeting thoughts of the dead, flying through the world, through the night sky, released by our dead bodies as we give up everything else that makes us living people. Our organs, our skin tags, our stretch marks, our discolorations on our inner thighs. Oh gosh, I love stuff like that. Not the sweatshirt itself, but this little metaphor that I've drawn together. I love thinking about like afterlives and like what happens to people when they die. I had this moment in 2020 when I was unknowingly in the throes of coronavirus, where I started getting like really, really panicky about dying. I was listening to Evermore, the album by Taylor Swift, and it started making me really, really sad. I was also in the middle of reading the book Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn, which is a really upsetting book. It's an amazing book, and it's also an amazing miniseries starring Patricia Clarkson and Amy Adams. It's so good, you guys. During that time in my life, I got really freaked out about dying. And I know I won't spend a ton of time on this. I know dying freaks everybody out. Not me, though. I'm cool about it. I started thinking about how fallible human beings are, and how we have no reasonable expectation to know what goes on after death. Not because we physically can't know that until we die, but also because human beings get stuff wrong all the time. Lead paint, asbestos, discontinuing Altoids sours. That means that there's a genuine possibility that every human interpretation of what happens after death, including the idea that it's just a complete cessation of consciousness and it's just blackness forever, could be wrong. We don't know. It's an adventure that we all get to go on. Maybe I should become a death doula. Oh girl, every time I get a TikTok from a death doula, I'm like, I'm seated. Guys, should I go into mortuary science? No, I could. That would make me too sad. It's not like death doesn't make me sad at all. You know, I still have a heart. You know what I mean? I'm wearing my hair in a side part today, guys. Do you like it? Boy Mom Club! Boy Mom Club! Guys, I don't have any children, so I don't really have any right to talk about when parents are cringe online. When parents commit the ultimate crime of posting cringe. Boy mom discourse is really unsavory. The idea that a woman could become so obsessed with her child just because her child is of a different gender than she is, to the point that it becomes her entire identity and ideology, and can sometimes impact how she views women and girls, especially if they are her own daughters or people in her family, is really creepy. And there's a lot of good conversation online about how damaging identifying as a boy mom can be to you and your male children and your female children and your gender non-conforming children or anybody else in the mix, right? It's weird to be so proud of the fact that you have birthed a boy. I understand completely why boy mom culture is so alluring for some women. Because for some of them, I imagine they feel sort of isolated in their household. Sometimes their household is just them, a son, or multiple sons, oftentimes is the case with people who really get into boy mom culture, and their husband. I was watching one of my favorite TV shows of all time the other evening, Hoarders. And it was an episode that I'd seen before, and I won't go into detail about everything about it because it's not relevant, but basically it was a family, a husband, a wife, and two teenage sons who were aged 17 and 14. The father had cancer, the mother was dealing with mental illness, one of the teenage sons was on the autism spectrum, and so being in a hoarded house was horrifying for him. There was nowhere he could really go in the house except a bathroom to have any moment of quiet to himself, where it was even something resembling organized. It was very much identified that the mother was the primary source of the hoarding, at least inside of the home. There was a point where the mom was getting very emotional about being told by her family that it was her fault and she had to get rid of all these things and she had to make all these very tough decisions. And she was saying, I feel like all of the boys are ganging up on the girl. You could say a lot about that. That's like, you know, were I a psychologist, I could chew on that for a full year, right? Obviously, it's a much more nuanced situation than that because two of the boys in question are your children who you're responsible for as a parent. Boy mom culture, taking this thing that might stress you out sometimes, feeling like the boys are ganging up on the girl, and making it something you can have fun with and engage with in a more lighthearted way, that allure makes total sense to me. I think one of its darker aspects is the ways in which it can be damaging, and often is damaging, to men as they grow up and start dating and have to forge an identity outside of their family and have to build relationships with women who aren't their mom and will, by and large, never go even remotely as far as their mothers did to represent them, to make their identity and their personhood as much a part of their own identity and personhood. No one is going to do that like your mom. And that's something that women talk about all the time. It's like, if you want a woman who's going to love you unconditionally and always be there for you, no matter what you do or say, you already have that woman. She's called your mom, because I'm sure as shit not going to do it. God, we're really getting existential in this episode of window shopping. It's not even about clothes anymore. I mean, how many horrifying mother-in-law stories on the internet are based around a relationship between a mother and son, in which the mother in question would absolutely buy a sweatshirt from Shein that says Boy Mom Club. It's so hard to be normal about your son marrying another woman when you've been the most important woman in your son's life. And your son's been the most important man in your life. It's gotta feel like empty nest syndrome on turbo steroids. There was a time when I was a teenager, before I found out that I was infertile, that I thought it might be nice to have a son. I had such a disconnected relationship from boys when I was growing up. I only ever had one male friend in childhood, and we weren't like super, super close friends, but we were friends. And I have an older brother, but he's much older than me. And I only had my dad for 9 years of my life. Like, I've always been sort of disconnected from men. Functionally, all of my serious friendships in my life have been with women. I have an incredibly strong relationship with my mom. I've never had social problems with other girls growing up. I've never been bullied by girls. I've never been teased by girls. I've had brilliant relationships with women my entire life. And men, it has never really been that case. It's not that I've had, like, bad relationships with men. You know, I've been dumped by a man. You know, I've ghosted a man. Only one, and it was when I was 24 and much younger. And I do feel guilty about it, and it's not my fault because I was starting a new job at an architecture firm and I needed to learn QuickBooks in the span of like 2 days. And in those 2 days, it happened to be when he was texting me to hang out again after we'd hung out for the final time. And I was busy trying to learn an accounting software and I didn't get back to him, and then he stopped texting me. So, okay, it's fine. It's fine. I've made amends to God for ghosting a man. But I've just had very little experiences with men. I feel very disconnected from them as people. Anyway, boy mom club. Cringe. What is even going on here? Whenever I see something with a sort of drop crotch like this, I think to myself, no f***ing way. And you know why? Because anytime something has a little bit of a drop crotch, it means that my inner thighs, my upper inner thighs, like where they're the most serious, they're going to be rubbing together. And when I'm wearing a skirt or shorts and my inner thighs are rubbing together, it's like, okay, I asked for this, right? But if I'm wearing pants and I still am running the risk of chub rub, I'd sooner burn my own apartment building down than willingly put myself through that. Are you kidding me? Pants have one singular purpose, in my opinion, and it is to forcefully separate my inner thighs. Is this Kelly Green? Guys, is this Kelly Green? If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I cannot stand the color Kelly Green. See, I wouldn't call this Kelly Green. I would call this Kelly Green. Guys, chime in. It is. Hey, people who know color theory, if this isn't actually Kelly Green and one of these other ones are, let me know. But I've always interpreted this to be Kelly Green, and I hate this color. The shapelessness of the garment doesn't particularly bother me. I don't mind a shapeless garment. It kind of, I like to sort of allude to the contours of my body, suggest things rather than show them outright, which is partially an insecurity thing and partially because, I don't know, I'm just like a neo-Puritan. Why would you put this over jeans? Why these jeans? Why a shirt that has a completely different neckline than the actual mesh net spaghetti strap dress? That looks ridiculous. Why did they put Mama in a tube top that goes straight across her chest and then give her this overlay dress that has a V-neck? This is ridiculous. Now, if you had this over like a sweetheart neck tube top and like a good bell-bottom jean, that could eat. And like a long line cardigan over it, perhaps a very skinny 70s style scarf, that outfit would be a lot more effective than what I'm seeing here. This just looks like an accident. Oh, she's beautiful. Oh, look how lovely she is. Her gloss looks nice. This is the t-shirt I gotta start putting on whenever I get too in my own head about things and I start overthinking. I reach into my dresser and I pull out my electric pink from the bottom of my heart I don't give a fuck t-shirt and just calm myself down, take some deep breath, and realize that nothing I'm fretting about actually materially matters. This is so fun. Like, I always get into this whenever I start talking about graphic t-shirts in these videos, but like, I don't know anybody who wears snarky graphic t-shirts in the year of our Lord 2024. I would love to meet the person who sees this t-shirt with this, frankly, pretty mean-spirited message on it in ugly font on an eye-searingly bright background and thinks, yes. You know what would be like crazy? Is if like a nurse bought this, or like a social worker, or someone in some sort of caring profession, like someone whose job it is to give a fuck, buys this shirt that's like, I just want to let you fucking know. You could drop dead right now in front of me, and I wouldn't even register anything happened. If you were on fire in this very moment, right next to me, you burst into flames spontaneously. I care so little that I would develop instantaneous cotton mouth. My mouth would dry up. I care so little about you that I couldn't even salivate enough to spit on you if you were on fire next to me. That is how little I care. From the bottom of my heart, I don't give a fuck. Who is this person that needs to communicate that message with the world? You are so scary. You're a supervillain. Are you the principal of that supervillain school that I mentioned like 8 jokes ago? Oh, hell yeah. Every window shopping episode needs one article of clothing that's just some god-awful denim homunculus. And we finally found it! It's a skort. What do you know about skorts? What do you bitches know about skorts? Huh. I used to love a skort back in the day. Skort, I had a little denim skort that I used to wear with a pink floral halter top. Ooh, bitch, if you think I wasn't cavorting around Disney World feeling like I was every single inch of the absolute fiercest diva alive, you're dead wrong. And guess what, girl? Guess what shoes? Velcro Tiva sandals. Fuck you if you don't think that slays. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Yeah, bitch. Yeah. I used to saunter into my 6th grade classroom in a pair of Tivas and some fucking gauchos, feeling every single inch of it. Oh my god, I love being a millennial. Oh my god. Anyway. This looks fucking stupid. Okay, now is when I'm gonna get myself into trouble. Are you guys ready for me to get myself into trouble? If you think I'm short, you should see my patience. Now, I've talked about this before. I'm not short, and I never have been short. Currently, to this day, I'm 5'11", but my hair is very big, and I have broad shoulders and like huge boobs, and I'm like beautiful and voluptuous, and I have wide hips and long legs. So I look a little bit bigger and taller than 5'11", right? And I wear heels functionally every single day. And as I was growing up, I was always in like the highest height percentile. I was taller than my mom by the time I was like 11. As a result, I have a lot of difficulty identifying with short people. I've never lived their life experience. I don't really understand what they go through. I do think that being short is a little embarrassing inherently. I know it's not your fault, just like it's not my fault how tall and beautiful I am. But like, really? You're like 5'4"? You didn't want to grow any taller than that? One time, I made a TikTok with some audio. It was the summer of 2021. It was some audio that like, you know, the general setup for the joke you would make to this audio is like person 1 is talking about something. Person 2 is like, I don't care. And then they leave. I think it was some audio of a girl on a date and a guy she was on a date with was like blathering on about something. And then there was like a beat of silence and she was like, I'm going home. And that was what it was, you know? It's funny. I made a TikTok where like person A blabbering on was short people talking about how hard it is for them to find pants that are short enough, and I have to hem all of my pants, and all my pants are too long for me because I'm so short and petite. And I, tall person, was like, I'm going home, leaves. Because I don't care about the trials and tribulations faced by short people, right? Oh, you have to hem your pants? Hey, girl. At least there's enough fabric. If I want to make my pants longer, I have to first ruin them by cutting the hem out, so I have to give everything I wear a raw hem. And like 11 times out of 10, it's still too short. Actually, you sit tight. These are all of my jeans. Torrid, 14 extra tall. Oh, what's that? Oh, I had to cut the hem out because they were too short. Old Navy, 18 tall. Actually, these already had a raw hem. Also, they're skinny jeans, so it doesn't matter if they're too short. Oh, Gloria Vanderbilt, 18 long. Uh-oh. Guess we had to cut the hem out because they were too short. Old Navy, 16 tall. Uh-oh. Oh, we had to cut the hem out because they were too short. Ooh. Abercrombie and Fitch, 34. L for long. Uh-oh. 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 I don't care if your jeans are too long for you. That's not even all the pairs of pants I've had to do that to, by the way. That's just all my jeans. We haven't even gotten into trousers, and they look so much stupider when you cut the hem out of them. I think I need to go to like a tolerance seminar for short people. Like obviously it sucks finding clothes that fit. It's hard for almost everybody. Like I'm obviously doing a bit. I'm playing it up for the video, but also just if you're around me and you have short person issues, I actually don't want to hear it. I want to end this video on an absolute banger. The front of this shirt is kind of nondescript. It's a pleasant baby blue color with a skeleton doing like a little rock and roll, like, yeah, Ford truck month type, thing. Generic, fine, whatever. And then the real fun starts when we flip the shirt around to see it says, "On my husband's last nerve." Okay, girl. Yeah. On my husband's last nerve. Girl, between you and me, if you were actually on your husband's last nerve, you would be fearing for your life. Husbands, just as a social group, as a species, aren't like amazing at managing their emotions if you're actually on their last nerve. For your safety, I hope that you're on your husband's like 15th to last nerve. Husband and wife humor of this caliber always kind of makes me cringe to an extent. This is just the other side, not even the other side, of the ball and chain, take my wife, please type humor. It's feeding into it. It's like, that's right, I am a nuisance. Take me, please. My husband can't stand me. Who is this for, girl? This is so strange. Don't sell yourself short like that, girl. Aside from your seeming obsession with ugly t-shirts, you're probably a total catch. And your husband would be lucky to have you. But neither of you would be lucky to have this shirt. Throw it away. Or, I guess, cut it into strips and use it as scraps around your house for quick cleanups and spills so you don't have to use as many paper towels. Because we all need to do our part to make sure we're not on Mother Nature's last nerve. I gotta, go and eat lunch and call my doctor about getting put on a higher dose of Prozac. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to follow me on websites where I'm more active, you can follow... Well, I'm not really all that active anywhere except Tumblr nowadays. If you want to follow me on Tumblr, my Tumblr URL is picklefan2002, and I'm on TikTok at Nisi Pisa. I got this little cushion at the Louvre when I was in Paris. It says N on it. The N is actually for Napoleon, but thankfully Napoleon and I, our first names start with the same letter. So it's really N for Nisa, which is me. Bye.